What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope all you had a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH, I liked certain parts of this episode, I will say. The scenes between Valentine and Brooklyn were very interesting. And I say that because I feel, and normally I don't like to agree with things Valentine says, but I have to agree. I feel like there was a lot of truths to what he was saying. Him and Brooklyn have more in common than she would like to admit, maybe. You know, they're both black sheeps of powerful families. They both do things for the betterment of themselves, you know, whether people like it or not. And I don't think she wanted to believe any of that stuff. But I think deep down she was thinking like, maybe he's right. Brooklyn is Brooklyn. She's always going to be who she is. Do I feel like she needs to grow up a bit more and stop this immature ass behavior? I think she does. She needs to grow up. But at the end of the day, she follows the beat of her own drum. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like people who do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, who don't give a damn what nobody think of them. I fucking love that. If you're out there and you know what I'm saying, you care about what people think of you, don't. I know sometimes it's hard, especially when you got family members who sit in judgment of you. But you know what? They're not God. And my thing is, that's the only person who can judge you is God. Even still, I feel like you just need to do you. You know what I'm saying? It took me a long time to realize that about myself. Because I used to think like that. I used to have that mindset years ago. Like, damn, like this person gonna think this about me. Oh, this person talking about me. But you know, as I get older, I realize I don't give a fuck what nobody think. You want to know why? The only thing that's important to me is what I think of myself. And that should be what's important to anybody out there. What do you think of yourself? That's more important. Be you. Be who you are. You know, if people can't respect it, they don't want to be on board with it, they don't want to deal with it, let them go. Let them go. That's family too. Family included. I don't give a damn who you are. You know what I'm saying? Live your life. You only get one life to live. Live it how you want to live it. Enjoy it. That's the whole part. Like, I'll be damned if I get 80 years old and I look back on my life like, damn, I let this person judge me. I let that person do this and this. Because you're going to look back and be like, damn, like I ain't even enjoy my life because I let too many people judge me. I let too many people, you know, let stuff creep into my mind of what people think. Don't do that. No. The hell with that. I plan on enjoying my life, and I think everybody should. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, you know, what your preferences are, who you are, what you like to do in your spare time, what TV shows you like to watch, what movies you like to watch. Because people clown you over the most dumbest of things. And people stop doing things because of what somebody else think or say about what they do. So they stop doing it. And that means when you stop doing stuff that you love because of what other people think or their judgment of you, you're not living your life. You're not living your truth. Live your truth. Live your life. Who gives a shit? And that's why part of me, I can't stand Valentine sometimes, but part of me like Valentine because he's that person, he don't give a damn what nobody think of him. He will sit there with a smug smile on his face. I love that shit. I love it. I love it. Do you. Be you. You know, Valentine is the type of person, he slick, he this, he dangerous, he, you know, whatever people want to call him. He don't care. He don't care. And I love that. You know, so my thing about Brooklyn is because Chase was telling her that, you know, basically at this point she need to stand on her own 2 feet and she need to get off his couch. I mean, he did tell her she can stay with him, but he want his apartment back at this point. He want his couch back. And he feels like she not had more than enough time to get her shit together. I understand she just got fired, but it's not like your family doesn't want you at home. You got a whole mansion to go home to. But I understand why she don't want to go back because she's like, well, they're, you know, her family sits in judgment of her. That brings my point. Who cares? Who cares? Because at the end of the day, who the hell are the Quartermains to judge anybody? Look at their life. Past marriages, divorces, out of wedlock children, all this stuff. Come on, affairs. Come on now. Who are any of them? I love the Quartermains, don't get me wrong, but who are any of them to judge? Who is Ned to judge? Who is Olivia to judge? You know what I mean? Tracy, with all her shenanigans. Monica, You know, they all have done dirt over the years. So who are the, you know, if they judge you and they say something to you about what you do, throw all their shit in their face. Come on now. Like, Brooklyn just gonna have to put her big girl panties on and figure life out. You know, live your life. Music is what you want to do, and you know what? Work hard to get back to that. But she need to stop blaming people, and that's what I loved about her conversation with Valentine today, because she kept trying to blame Valentine. Oh, I knew I should have warned my family. I knew I should have warned my dad about your takeover at ELQ before it happened. Oh, my life has been in ruin since I made a deal with you. And I love how Valentine threw that shit back in her face. He was like, bruh, if you would have just came to me and told me that you could not sing, or your voice wasn't where it was, you know, where it was before, we could have worked something out. And I agree. And that's the same shit I said yesterday. That had all she had to do was tell Valentine and Lucy what was going on. They could have fixed it. They could have worked it out and still got the deal. Now they lost the deal because not only of her shenanigans, because I put some of the blame on Sasha too because of her mess. You know what I mean? But had y'all not had her and Sasha, you know, been honest and kept that shit 100, they could have fixed that deal. That deal could have went through, but no, they had to lie and pretend, and guess what? It came back and bit all of them in their ass. So she could sit there and blame Valentine all she wants, but she need to take ownership of her, you know, of her wrongdoings, of her mess. Take ownership of it. Stop blaming other people. And that's the problem with some people. It's so easy to blame others for your mistakes because you don't want to blame yourself. But blame yourself because it's on you. Take responsibility. That's a part of being an adult. Take responsibility. And that's what she needs to do. Suck it up, go back to the Quartermains, and stay there. It is what it is. So anyway, moving on from that. I love the reunion between Dante and Olivia. I loved it. Like, Olivia just could not control her tears. Like, she just was just crying tears of joy throughout that whole moment. And I don't blame her. She just could not believe after all this time her son was finally home for good. She was just super happy about it. Because she was all ready to call Sonny and Lulu, but Dante was like, nah, you ain't got to call them. I already seen them. And he mentioned how when he went over to the house, Dustin was there. And, you know, Olivia was like, well, Dustin can't hold a candle to you. I have a feeling at some point Dante and Lulu probably will get back together. I believe they will. And I'm not even surprised Olivia wanted Dante to stay at the mansion. She didn't care what nobody said. He gonna be staying there. They got a bunch of guest rooms. But here's the thing, though. And I think this is what they're setting it up for. Because notice how Chase told Brooklyn that she needed to go back home. And now Dante's going to be staying there. I literally just put the pieces together like, oh, shit. You know Lulu going to have a fit. You know Lulu not going to be feeling this. I would never want Dante with Brooklyn, though. I'm sorry. As a fling, maybe. As a one-night stand, maybe. Hopefully she don't get pregnant. But as a fling, I wouldn't mind it. But as a relationship, hell to the no. She just too childish. Like, I know she would drive Dante crazy. Like, she just too damn childish for my taste. As a fling, sure. I wouldn't mind him hooking up, getting it in now. But, a couple, hell no. She drive me crazy and she's just a character. Like, you know what I'm saying? But she be irking my nerves. So I could imagine. So anyway, moving on from that. Cyrus. He worse than the boogeyman himself. Cyrus is an ass. Like, he just don't stop. Like, that little creepy ass smile that he always be doing. Like, he just weirds me out. Like, so basically he trying to recruit Brando. So the plan so far seems like it's working, you know. Cyrus wants, you know, Brando to come work for him, be a driver, be more than that, because he felt like, you know, if Brando came to work for him, everybody benefits. Because he was basically telling him, like, you know, don't worry about Sonny or whatever. They called a truce. And he feels like Brando could be like a liaison between him and Sonny, you know, an open line of communication. So they're definitely, the plan is so far working to perfection. So far, he's putty in their hands. Cyrus is putty in Sonny and Jason's hands because the plan is working. Let's hope it continues to work. So Brando, of course, went over to see Sonny and told him and Carly that, you know, the plan is working. Cyrus wants Brando to work for him, and Sonny was like, "Good, that's what we want. Good, he's falling for it." I think it's bad. I don't think that Sonny and Brando and Jason should be meeting with each other. I feel like they should be talking over the phone or something like that, because you never know, Cyrus might have a tail on him and be wondering like, why are you, you know, constantly going over to Sonny and them house? Because he noticed that they had like a little beef or whatever. He's noticing that. A little tension between them, because Cyrus even brought that up to Jason. So he's gonna wonder like, why are you going over their house so much if you got kind of like a little beef with them or whatnot? So that means Brando's probably gonna have to come up with some excuses if in fact Cyrus is telling him, because you never know with Cyrus, he's sneaky like that. So anyway, moving on from that. I did like the conversation Sonny and Carly had and stuff, because, you know, Sonny's just worried and wondering if he's gonna, you know, inherit Alzheimer's disease as well, because he feels like, you know, it could happen, seeing as how he passed on his bipolar disorder to Morgan. He feels like Alzheimer's might be passed on to him, and he wants to run some tests. And I agree with Carly. I mean, you know, none of us are doctors, but there's no test that can really predict if you're gonna get Alzheimer's or not. You know, doctors can't really tell you if you're gonna get it. I had grandparents who had cancer. You know, one of my grandparents survived cancer, the other one didn't, you know, so it always crept in the back of my mind sometimes that I might get it one day, but there's no guarantees on that stuff. You know, it's a possibility, but there's no guarantee that I would get it. But, you know, I'm not worried. And I'm not even stressing about it. I never stressed about that. It was always in the back of my mind, but I never went crazy about it. And I'm glad that Carly said what she said to Sonny, like, you know, he shouldn't worry about this. I mean, if he wants to go and get some tests and see, cool. But he doesn't have to make any decisions today, tomorrow, next week, next year. You know what I'm saying? That's way down the line. And I know he was worried about the kids and stuff might, you know, get it or whatever. But like Carly said, they don't need to get tested for it unless they want to. But that's years down the line for them too. And I agree. Sonny just needs to worry about grieving, worrying about living life. Because that's what I'm on right now. Like, I'm just, you know, living life. You know, I'm just trying to be more happy, you know, find more things in my life that bring me joy. And that's what life is about, man. It's about a journey. Life is such a journey. You know what I'm saying? The ups, the downs, everything. So it's a big journey. But I'd rather be happy going through that journey than be miserable. You know what I mean? You got to, because you get one damn life, and I can't stress it enough. Live it. I know we all go through some shit in our day to day with work or whatever you got to go. Even if you go to work every day, and I know some, you know, depending on what jobs you do, you know, people stress you out at work. I'm at a point in my life where I'm not letting nothing stress me. Work, nothing. 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 That's not the way I want to live life, and I advise people not to do that either. Do not let nothing stress you. Just, life is going to test the hell out of you, because that's what life is. It's a big journey. It's a test. You know what I'm saying? It's going to test everything, you know, what you can handle. And God really doesn't give you more than you can handle. So, you know, just live your life, man. Have fun. And I'm glad Carly and Sonny had that conversation, because Sonny just needs to live life and enjoy. That's all you can do. You get one to live it. So that way when you get older, you can look back and be like, yo, I had a ball. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I want to do when I get older. I want to look back on life and be like, damn, I had me a great time. You know what I mean? Even when I get in my 80s and stuff, and God willing, I live that long, I'm going to still be having some fun, even in my 80s. I ain't slowing down for nothing. I'm going to still have me a ball. Because that's just life, man. You know, live it. Have a good time. So anyway, my boo Jackie, I'm loving Jackie Templeton even more, because Jackie knows her worth. And I love that. And that's another thing I want to tell people. Know your damn worth, please. Don't just settle for anything. Don't settle for less, man. Know your worth. And Jackie definitely knows hers, because she put Peter in his place real quick. Because when she basically told Peter she had no problem with working, for the Invader and stuff on this story with Cyrus, she had some reservations about working with Peter due to his reputation. And she brought up, the fact that he was recently kidnapped before, the fact that he had charges against him, the shootout, all this mess with his father. He was under the impression, oh, you talked to Robert. Oh, I know about you and Robert's history and his paranoia against me. First of all, she knew all this stuff about him prior to her conversation at the bar with Robert. And furthermore, Robert didn't even tell her about all of this stuff with Peter. I'm pretty sure she did her homework on him. Because as a good investigative journalist, of course she did her homework on Peter August. Of course she looked him up. She knew who his dad was. You know what I'm saying? Of course. This is all, everything about Peter is pretty much public information. Except for the shit that he currently hiding. But other than that, a lot of stuff about him is in the paper already. It's in the media. It's nothing, that you can't Google real quick. So even though, yes, Robert did warn her about Peter, she knew what she was getting into with him. She knew. And that's why she wanted Peter to pitch himself to her. Because why should I work with you? Why should I? But he didn't feel like he needed to pitch himself to her. Yes, you do. First of all, that's Jackie Templeton. You know what I'm saying? That's a seasoned vet in the journalism business. So you know how big it is to get her to work for your paper right now. So yeah, you do need to pitch yourself to her. She don't need to prove nothing to you. Her resume speaks for itself. But your reputation precedes you. So yeah, you do need to pitch yourself to her. So I don't know who the hell Peter think he is, but you might want to calm that down. And I'm glad she put him on notice. Like, she ain't got no problems with working with him, but she needs to trust him. Because how can, she put out stories for the Invader if her readers don't trust him? You know what I'm saying? So if she's going to put herself out there and take a leap of faith, she need to know who she dealing with. And she basically let him know that she will work with him under a few conditions, of course. One, she works with Lulu, only Lulu. Two, she reports to only Peter, no middlemen, no secretaries, no none of that. She goes directly to Peter. Three, her and Lulu get final copy approval over their articles. And Peter was trying to, he wasn't trying to budge on that. He was about to say, nah, I got to have input on that. She said, nah, that ain't going to work. He was like, well, we're going to have to find a compromise. You can find a compromise all you want, but I'm sure Jackie going to get what she want. That's Jackie Templeton. She going to get what she want. Furthermore, she was like, we need to talk about my expense account. I said, I know that shit right, Jackie. Get to the money. Get to the bag. That's what I'm talking about. See, in all negotiations with jobs, it always come down to the dollar. Like, we need to know how much we gonna be getting. Like, she was like, in this champagne, this apple cider, whatever we drinking, she said, we gonna put this as a business expense. I love Jackie, because that's some shit I would have did too. Like, yeah, you gonna pay for this drink. We gonna put this on the company dime. I know that's right. I love that, man. Jackie Templeton, I'm loving Kim Delaney. I'm loving it. I think she's a natural fit for the show. And that's just my personal opinion. I love it. She's the bomb on this show, and I can get with that. So anyway, Maxie continues to irk my nerves. She's upset with Robert because he's not genuinely happy for her, and Robert just trying to protect the people around him because he know that Peter's not as reformed as he claimed he is. Furthermore, she got mad at Spinelli because he didn't automatically congratulate her and stuff like that. And she tried to sit there threatening him, talking about don't poison our daughter against Peter and stuff. First of all, you should know Spinelli better than that. She's known Spinelli a long time. You should know he would not say negative things about Peter in front of your daughter. You should know him better than that. Come on now. That ain't even, Spinelli's MO. That's not even his style. So she's sitting there basically telling him, well, he's uninvited to her wedding if he can't be happy for her and Peter, and that if he continues this, then she's not going to be friends with him anymore. First of all, you're going to have to come with a threat better than that, because with the way she's acting, who the hell would want to be friends with you? Most of the people in that town are not really congratulating her. You got some that are, but you got some that's not. And she need to take heed to that. Like, come on, with the past relationships that you had prior to Nathan, some people was looking at her exes like, yeah, especially that dude that she dated, you know, that little... You know, the one that she came back to town with, that was crazy, Peter Harold Jr., or whatever. I forgot what alias he was going by, but you know, that little guru freak. Yeah, some people were side-eyeing him, but Maxie didn't want to listen about him either. And look what happened. It came back and bit her in the ass. So, you know, Spinelli and Robert were talking and stuff, and Robert basically made it clear, like, he's going to continue to investigate Peter. He was like, because he don't trust him, and he know his ass is up to something. So Spinelli decided to swallow his pride or whatever and apologize to Maxie and, you know, give his congratulations or whatever. But he know he don't mean it. He just doing it to save face and to, you know, keep Maxie close or whatever, and not get shut out by her. But he know he don't mean that. He don't mean no congratulatory, you know, he ain't happy about this, and he know he not. But I'm disappointed in Maxie because you've known Peter all the 5 minutes, and you've known Spinelli, Sam, Jason, Robert. You known all these people pretty much your whole damn life. Well, Spinelli, she's known for some years. But the rest of them is like, you know, either way, you've known all these people for years. And she knows that they all care about her. And she knows that they want to see her happy. She knows that none of them are haters. They don't want to see her miserable. They're happy for you. But obviously, if all of them have reservations about this, maybe you ought to take heed to it. Why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? These people have your best interests at heart. So if they feel a certain way, maybe you should wonder why. I understand they don't have proof. But still, you know, take a closer look at why they, you know, have issues with this dude. But I feel like, you know, it's like an old Lifetime movie. Like, she's just cutting off everybody that's been a part of her life for years over a dude that you've only known for a short amount of time compared to everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, she need to cut that out. Because she's going to be eating some humble pie when the truth come out. She definitely will. So anyway, Valentine is still trying to warn Anna basically at this point. Like, she's playing a deadly game with Alex. He keeps trying to warn her, like, you're playing, either you're going to play your game or you're going to play Alex's game. And if you play Alex's game, you're probably going to end up dead. And he told her, he was like, the only option right now is to kill Alex before she kill you. Because if Alex want Anna dead, get the drop on her before she do it to you. That's the only option right now. And she's sitting there talking about, you want me to kill my sister, my twin? Your twin is trying to kill you. She wants you dead. So why would you not want to kill her? I'm just saying. I mean, I get that's your sibling, but clearly Alex don't give two shits about you. Because Valentine felt like he was vindicated a little bit when Anna started telling her theory that maybe Alex is really Peter's mother. So he was like, oh, so that means I didn't betray you. He said, thank God. Well, I wouldn't be thanking God yet because we ain't got no proof yet. But he just cared because he felt like he was finally vindicated after all this time. But Anna is basically saying she want to handle Alex by herself at this point. And Valentine was trying to tell her, like, nah, I'm in this now. Because if Alex find out I've been working with you on this or whatever, she could come after me. She could come after Charlotte. But Anna was like, she not thinking about you. For all they know, Alex could be in Port Charles right now and they probably wouldn't even know it. You know what I mean? Like, so I can't blame Valentine for being pissed. Like, you either take care of Alex or I will. You know, it's that type of situation because he keeps trying to warn Anna. Like, Anna thinks that she has this under control, but Valentine clearly thinks otherwise. Like, and I can't say I blame him on that because Anna always thinks that she's in control of things, but she's been a little wobbly lately. So I wouldn't trust her judgment at this point with this particular situation. I'm just saying. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about it. I will see y'all all later. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.